Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be talking about the brand new Doctor Who themes as well as the recent Who spy images and much more. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a long one. I'm going to be going over quite a few little bits of news and some bits that I haven't covered. So grab a drink, chillax, and enjoy the ride. But before we get into it, if you could do me a teeny tiny little favour and click that subscribe button, it'd be very much appreciated. We are still on the rise at the moment, and thank you for all the support on the last video. We're almost at 10,000 views on that, which is insane. If you are just coming back to Doctor Who and you are brand new and you do enjoy hearing news, this is the best place to be, so feel free to subscribe if you are brand new, but of course, you don't have to. Let's just get right into it. So last night, the world premiere of the new Doctor Who theme tune was released. Now, I'm somewhat surprised by this, because the concert I thought was coming out later on, but it came out last night on BBC Sound, so that includes this brand new version of the theme, as well as the Doctor and Ruby's themes. Now, I'm not sure how much of these I'm going to be able to play to kind of demonstrate my thoughts on them, due to copyright reasons for the music. So I will leave a link to the BBC Sounds recording in the description below, so you guys can listen to them yourself and get your own full judgments on them. I'll see if I can play some clips. If the copyright is nice to me, we'll have to wait and see. However, the first thing we got to see, and the most prominent thing we got to see, was the brand new rendition of the iconic Doctor Who theme, as composed once again by Murray Gold. And I have a few thoughts on this. The response to this seems generally positive, although I have seen some criticism of this theme, specifically in regards to it being busy. Now, I'm going to preface this segment when I talk about music by saying I'm by no means an expert in music, so take what I say with about as much scrutiny as, I don't know, Liz Truss talking about the economy. From what I understand, concert performances do tend to sound busier than refined versions in the final episodes. So my mood with this is to not fully judge it until we actually hear the official broadcast version. With that in mind though, I do understand what people are saying. There's multiple aspects of this theme going on. However, I do still really enjoy it. It feels like a combination of the series 4 and 5 themes with more trumpets and piano. The piano specifically feels like a bit of a homage to the TV movie theme, which is one of my all-time favourites. I love its grandeur. I think as well, the Doctor Who theme is always accompanied by its visuals, and I think visuals can often add just as much as the theme itself, so this also kind of depends on what visuals accompany this theme. It definitely feels like a more fast-paced version of the theme, in line with Murray's earlier themes, and contrasting the theme of the previous composer, Sagan Akinola, which was a lot more slow building, and I did enjoy that theme. However, I do think, for the style of show that Russell T Davies makes Doctor Who, I think it makes sense to have a version of the theme that is this more orchestral thing. There's a sort of a longer lead-in before the main part of the theme, which honestly I didn't mind. And again, it really depends on how it's used in the episodes themselves. I did enjoy this theme. I do understand what people are saying about it being a bit busy. However, overall, I did still enjoy it. Where I feel these themes really begin to shine is with the character themes. I've always kind of felt that way about Murray Gold's music. I've always felt that whilst I enjoyed all of his renditions of the Doctor Who theme, with his weakest probably being Capaldi's, his character themes were always the ones that stuck out to me most, whether it be Donna's theme, I Am the Doctor, Bo's theme, etc. And this concert was no exception, as we got two new themes, both for the new companion Ruby Sunday as well as the Doctor. First of all, starting with Ruby's theme, I saw some people say that it was quite different from what they were expecting, but it kind of made sense to me for a couple of reasons. It's essentially like a slow jazz piano number that's actually slightly fairy tale-esque, but also somewhat more, I guess, somber. It reminded me very much of a Stephen Moffat era track, or something akin to The Girl in the Fireplace. And I think this makes sense given comments made by Murray Gold with regards to the character of Ruby Sunday, which were then excised from the broadcast version. This was from Doctor Who filming locations when they actually went to the actual concert. Murray Gold, Ruby Sunday is a lost soul searching for her parents. And I think you really get that in this theme. It feels, whilst there is a twinkle to it, and almost a usefulness to it, there is also a sense of tragedy in it. And somberness, and I really do enjoy it. Really cool to see a return of more distinct companion themes. I do feel that whilst I did enjoy some of Sagan's music, companion themes were really lacking. Like, I don't remember any of the themes of the companion. Did they even have themes? I don't know. But when you compare them to Donna or Martha or even like Bill, Clara, Amy, they just don't compare. And this very much felt like a continuation of that philosophy. I really like Ruby Sunday's theme, but the pinnacle, as I'm sure you've seen a lot of people praise, is the 15th Doctor's theme itself. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably my favourite Doctor theme since Matt Smith. Better than both 12's and 13's. And I like both of their themes. However, this piece of music to me was not only super unique, but also familiar, which I feel is just so perfect for the Doctor. You can kind of hear elements of things like I Am the Doctor in there slightly, but it feels so unique. The way I can best describe this theme is sort of like a marching band. It's lively and it's energetic and it's perfect for Shooty. And the main sort of chorus, I suppose, of the theme, the dun 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 dun, it's iconic. And I think it will be iconic in the same way as I Am the Doctor. The only reason I don't rate it higher than I Am the Doctor or on the same level is because it hasn't had that, chance yet. We haven't seen it on screen. We haven't seen the Doctor accompanying it. But if Shooty does stay on for an extended tenure with this as his theme, I genuinely do believe it has the potential to be as iconic as something like I Am the Doctor. I also completely get why people say it sounds Wild Westy as well, and I also quite like that. It's the sort of theme I could totally imagine him facing villains with, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's my favourite piece of music that they've shown us so far. For me personally, I probably would say it's 15's theme, then Ruby's theme, then the main theme. Again, I don't want to say the main theme is bad, not by any means. It's still a really solid version of the theme. It very much did give me nostalgia for those faster-paced themes of Series 4 and 5. But his new character themes just hit different for me, man. 15's in particular is absolutely phenomenal. I have seen some people say that it's somewhat repetitive, and I do want to say that I find it incredibly unlikely that the full 3-minute 28 full version of this theme will be played during episodes. They're normally truncated or edited slightly, so I wouldn't worry too much if it sounds repetitive as a whole, because obviously there's naturally repetition in music, I assume, I think. Again, if there's anyone who's more knowledgeable about music, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be completely honest, this isn't my area of expertise, and I feel like that's okay to admit, but I really enjoyed them. And this was something that was kind of speculated about when the 60th concert happened, but it has been, confirmed that Russell T Davies sort of partially jokingly said he's going to do 4 series. He said, speaking at the Doctor Who 60th concert, Davies said, "Let me think. Okay, series 4, I'm going to write an episode that's all music, no dialogue. We plan ahead. There's no room in series 3. So yeah, that at least confirms he's doing 3, but possibly even 4, which I've spoken about before. I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about the stability that Doctor Who has, and I think as well that gives him plenty of time to find a worthy successor. Shifting away though from the 60th concert, we've had a plethora of new Who spy images, specifically ones that seem to tie into the TARDIS. Obviously, before these ones, we had this one, which definitely seemed like a TARDIS interior shot to me. You've got the crackle, which is very similar to the coral, but also white, and then you've got these sort of copper wiry controls that are covered in Gallifreyan. So yeah, very much gives me the vibe of a TARDIS here, and I do enjoy it. It's more sort of rustic than I was expecting for this console, but I think this kind of gives us a better indication of what the console will look like. And I mean, if you want more proof that this is the console, I mean, look in the background there, you can quite literally see a roundel. It's obviously the TARDIS, and you can see sort of a keyboard, and also, this is super nerdy, but that yellow button reminds me very much of the button he pressed before Voyage of the Damned when he crashed into the Titanic before putting his shields back on. Is that incredibly nerdy? Yes. But yeah, this TARDIS, again, you can sort of see the crackling on the sides of the console, which is again quite Coral-esque, kind of combining a bit of a sort of makeshift design with also a very clean room. And I do like that mixture of aesthetics. I do hope that, like, there's plenty of, like, buttons and levers that are, like, normal in the vein of Capaldi's and they aren't all jutting out of the console. I do like that for a few of them, don't get me wrong. But I do want an element of, I guess, I don't know, uniformity to the console as well as that chaos. I think you can blend those to be really, really cool. I do enjoy the copper wiring though. It gives the, like, console a different, unique color scheme beyond just, you know, white or something like that we've seen before. And I like that it kind of evokes the idea of it being like the Doctor's workstation, right? Like, this is where he kind of tinkers away at things. I like it a lot. As for these other two images, one of them shows a, like, sort of, I guess, a bunch of charging ports and various other things. So a lot of people have said that this is for the TARDIS. However, I'm not so sure. I could be wrong here. But you see things called, like, seat power and one failed light on OK to fly, but need to monitor during flight. I think, and this is my complete guess, this is from the aeroplane that we see exceedingly briefly in the trailer. Because I don't think it makes sense for these all to be labelled in English. I know you could say that the Hartnell console has them all labelled in English, but I don't think this is the TARDIS, personally. Like, the fact that it says directly that it's got USB-C ports, I just don't imagine the TARDIS saying that up front. So I'm going to guess this is more part of that aeroplane. And then the final one is this Valet auto-strop safety razor made in Great Britain. So if I had to guess what this one meant, I'd say that it's part of the 1920s segment of this episode that we've seen filming, and obviously I would assume includes John Logie Baird, as we sort of discussed in a previous video. And perhaps maybe we meet him in a razor shop or something like that. Very much gives me 1920s vibe, so that's my assumption here. We also had this Who Spy photo, which seems to depict Rachel Talalay getting ready to film one of the earlier scenes of the Starbeast. Specifically, this looks like the location in which they were filming the rocket in the Starbeast, and that's actually spoken about quite a bit in DWM as well, so that makes sense. And yeah, there's not much more to say. It looks really good. And that about wraps up everything I'm going to cover for this video. I was going to cover more stuff, but then I realised this video is already quite long, so I'm deciding to cut it off there. And I know I said in my previous video I'll be covering the classic Who iPlayer deal in more detail. That will now be pushed to tomorrow's video, so make sure you stick around for that, and a few other news items I didn't get to here. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you later.